Good morning. Nice to have your company today. A little later than I said I was going to be, but I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. To see you here. Now, let me create a bit of space so I can see what I've got. Right. Phone's going to be making a bit of a ping noise there, so I'll turn that down a bit. Good morning to you in York this morning, Sarah. And the weather this morning here at Timmy Towers is absolutely gorgeous. Perfect. Now, let's get some colours out onto my palette. Mallett's palette. Hey, listen to that. Good morning, Laura Plant in Manchester. Nice to have your company today. Well, here we are. We're all together. Not going anywhere, are we? Morning, Ricardo in Lichfield. It's a good place to be. I like Lichfield. Nice town. Good morning from Hastings, Lawrence Ballard. Do excuse me if we have the occasional technical glitch. It's part of life, isn't it? Right, got to get some colours onto my palette. Had a busy morning this morning. I made a jigsaw puzzle. I found that the option to make a jigsaw puzzle online of yesterday's painting. And it's been a lot of fun. I know a lot of people have been trying to do that. And I have to say that most people have done it in a better time than I did it. So that's good. Well done. Right, I want some burnt sienna. Where's some space? Bit of burnt sienna right in there. Window cleaners here this morning. Good. So we're going hello from inside, and he's doing a great job. It's good, isn't it, those who've able to keep going with their work outside. It's nice to see that. Actually, one of the things, I had a phone call this morning, a conversation, and the conversation goes like this: what are you doing today? I said, well, same as usual, really. Not going anywhere. I love that. I love the fact we don't have to make that decision. We don't have to do anything like that because we're going nowhere. Right, okay. Now then, I'm looking at this image, but I'm going to tell you about that in just a second when I've prepped up my colours and things. I know what I'm going to be putting in here. So how's your weekend? Did you make it to the loft, anybody? Good morning, Colin from rainy Manchester. Well, perfect weather for Manchester. Hello from Carnarvon, by their gorgeous castle there, the lollipop coloured castle in Carnarvon. Hello, Margaret. Good morning, everyone. So, shout out where you're watching and what you're expecting to see. Manganese blue, that's a nice colour. I like manganese blue. I'll try that. I'm going to put a little bit of that in there. Oh, that is a nice colour. That's a very nice colour. Right. Palette's starting to look... oh, I know what I need. Naples yellow. Where's that gone? I put this somewhere safe. There ought to be a system for this. But I'm not very good with systems. I'm more interested in the actual painting. And then when I've put the paint out, I've just got to chuck it into the box. Mistake. Should put it where I know I'm going to raw umber, burnt sienna. Titanium white. I'll have a bit more of that. Because I am painting the arrival of spring this year. And this spring is going to be one that we will all remember. We'll remember this for a million squillion different reasons. But most of all, we'll remember it because we know where we are. We're all at home. Everybody is at home. Right. Let's get some brushes. I've got a brush or two here. Got this nice case. It's a lovely case, isn't it? Loads of brushes neatly put where I can find them. That's good. Right. I'm also keeping some brushes here which I should have got rid of ages ago. I should have just got rid of them because they're just too old. But you don't, you hold on to things. We all do this, don't we? We hold on to things that we like. And we don't very often have a clear out. Anybody done a clear out? Anybody gone, right, okay, it's time to get rid of stuff now and have a nice clear out. Hello, Mark Daniel in Bolton and Hazel Gillard in the Black Country. That's nice. Good to see you. Now then, let's see if I can do this properly and get the comments on here so I know what I've got. Right. You're watching Mallett's Pallette live. And good morning from Portsmouth, Matt Reed. Good morning from Stockport, Chris Wood. Yay! Where else are you watching this morning? Let me know. Ping me a message. Tell me where you are, and I'll give you a little shout out. You can be part of the Mallett's Pallette posse. Right. Anybody recognise where this is, or what I was painting last week? Because I was painting last week Constable skies, John Constable, and I had a little further go at this painting. I did some more work to it because I wasn't happy with the sky. It needed to be a little softer. It needed to have something of that English softness to the sky. And it's getting it here now. This blue, it's going to have to change a bit. It's a little bit harsh. It needs to soften down slightly. So what I will do this morning is just put a little bit of softened blue into there to bring it down a bit so it doesn't shout out quite as much. Colours and textures in painting shout out, and I want this to be a little quieter. That's an odd thing to say when you're known as Timmy Mallett, who makes a lot of noise. But there's a time and a place for all sorts of things, and the noise to this sky just needs to come down. Instantly different. I'll bring it down a bit. See? Instantly different. But the other bit of sky up there, you can't see that very well, can you? Can I twist that up a bit? Okay, there you go. Instantly, that's going to come down a bit as well. Not much, because the sky, the higher you go in the sky, the darker it is. And if you look outside now, you'll see that's a fact. It's quite a good sky this morning here at Timmy Towers. It's a lovely sky. In fact, I woke up this morning and went, yeah, it rained in the night. We went, yeah, because we haven't had any rain for 3 weeks and garden's looking rather dry. thought, oh right, okay, we could do with a little bit of rain in the night, and we got it. So very grateful for that. It's too small a brush. I'm faffing around with a tiny brush. There's no point in faffing around with a tiny brush. Use a bigger brush. Use that nice turquoise blue in the sky just to bring that shouty bit of blue down. Okay, have a little look at that. What do you think? Well, there we go. We're a little bit more wide awake, and that is all I'm going to do to that sky for this morning. That's it. Instead, I'm going to bring this to the fore, and we're going to have a little look at this now. Right, okay. Acrylic paper I'm using this morning. I like this size. I've prepped it already with some burnt sienna. I always prep the canvas I'm going to work on to get rid of the white. If I get rid of the white, it becomes a little bit easier to work it. So here's the thing. I went out on my bike for my daily bit of exercise, and about, where have I put it now? Where have you put it? I put it some, oh here it is. About a quarter of a mile from here, I've got a field with edged in blackthorn, hawthorn. Blackthorn, all the blossom is white on a blackthorn hedge. Why? Because it is. And the colours were just sensational. Right, okay. So here's what I was looking at. I'll bring the image up for you. Okay. That's it. That's what I was looking at. Blackthorn with blossom on, and behind apple, or are they cherry trees with a tiny little bit of blossom on them. Really liked it. Then I had a further look, a closer look at the trees, the apple blossom trees. Now look at that apple blossom. Wow. I did a nice close-up image of that apple blossom. I thought, ooh, that's going to be interesting, painting that. Wonder, that's what the full tree looks like. How am I going to paint that? So that's my challenge today, if you like, to paint that blossom. Okay? We're going to have a little go. So tell me how we're going when you're watching this and what you think, and is it getting anywhere? If you just tuned in and you're looking at a brown board here and thinking, what's that? It's going to transform shortly into an image of around where I live. And I'm going to start. Where am I going to start? I'll start at the beginning, of course. It's the very good place to start. So I'll start at the top. I often start at the top. I've got manganese blue mixed with a bit of cobalt blue, and I often start at the top and then work downwards, and you'll see why. It just seems to work. I mix a little bit of terps in with the or artist's white spirit, as we technically call it, artist's white spirit, and use that to sketch in the image I'm looking for. So I know where things are going to go. and what things are going to happen, because I've had a little think about it, a little bit of planning. Planning for things is always a good idea. I talk about planning in Utterly Brilliant, My Life's Journey, the book about cycling and painting the Camino de Santiago. 2 years ago, we were in the middle of the beast from the east and the wildest, wettest spring any of us can remember. This is a spring we'll remember for all sorts of different reasons. But 2 years ago, a wild and challenging springtime to cycle 2,500 miles from home, alone, with my bike and my paints. And that's what I did this time last year. And so in that book I talk about the importance of prep. You know, you can't prep everything, but you can prep for the unexpected. You can be tuned into being in the moment, tune into the here and now of living, which is a little bit like what we're doing here today. I've been thinking about this, you know. We don't know how long we're going to be in this lockdown. We have no idea. Is it start of week 3 now? Is it 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 12 weeks? Is it, you know, right the way through the summer? When will the kids go back to school, for instance? Will they go back after Easter? Of course not, no. Will they go back after the summer, in September? Yeah, well, we hope so. Otherwise, they'll go stir crazy. Poor little things. Right. Tube. Where did I put that blue? I asked you to remember where I put it. You're not paying attention this morning. So, let me know where you're watching and what you're thinking. Pinky Punky is looking at the floor and can't see the painting. Is he? Where is he? Oh! Right, Pinky Punky. Sit yourself up. There you go. Now you can look at the painting. Mallets, Pallette, mallets, mallet. We're all here. So, I'm reminded of the difference between this spring and 2 years ago. And this spring, wow, what a lot more blue sky we've got this year. Yeah, lovely. So, I roughly sketch it in here. I'm not worrying about lots of detail. And you're going, why is he leaving little bits unpainted? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? Can't you tell why? Why do you think there are bits that aren't being painted in? Come on, tell me. You can see it. You can see what I'm doing. You can probably work out what's going on. Right, I'm putting in a little light grey into here. It's actually called, what's this colour called? Blue grey is what it's called. Right, Mark Whitaker's watching in Slough. Claire Welch is in Mansfield. Steve Luff is in Kilmarnock. And I've got your 2 Barbados paintings still hanging in my breakfast room, says Annie Robinson. Oh, lovely. Yes, painted in Barbados. And if I'm right, Annie, you've got that painting I did of over by Bathsheba on the east coast of Barbados. Barbados, most of the beaches, the lovely calm beaches are on the west coast, what's called the leeward side of the island, but the windward side of the island has the spectacular coastline of Bathsheba with those great rock outcrops. Lovely. Right, I'm going to mix up a little bit of terre verte with some cadmium lemon, a little bit of the Tarlo green, which is a slightly more strident, virulent green, and this is going to come into here. little bit to it. Okay, now then. I paint with short, sharp brush strokes. All the time, I'm not painting in the shape of things. I'm painting in the light and shade. That contrasts between light and shade. It's what makes a painting have drama and form. So, dear Bill Withers passed away last Friday. You remember that song, A Lovely Day? Sorry, cough, cough, splutter, splutter. The family started singing that over dinner the other day. It was very funny. Because little Milo the dog suddenly went completely bonkers and started joining in and barking like a maniac, and it was just good fun. Anyway, that video's up on, I think it's up on TikTok now, or maybe it's on Insta or something, Instagram, on one of those. But a good funny video of us all going lovely day. And Milo the dog joining in. Great. Bill Withers, top man. Top man. Never met him. Met lots of different pop stars along the way. And good fun. Right. So, giving a bit of darkness over here on the on this side of the painting. And the reason for that is to give us contrast. Contrast is really important. Don't be afraid of dark shadows. If you're going to have a go at painting, put in some dark shadows. Be prepared to have a go. Right. We're going to get the feel of a spring day out of this. You'll see. So I've got these tall apple trees. Apple? Cherry? Not sure. The cherry blossom very, very nearly out near where I live. Is it out near where you live? Are you getting any cherry blossom? Now, aha! I love the automatic translation to lovely, from lovely day to lovely dad. That's my brother Paul. My great brother Paul. I've got two brothers. Biggest brother Paul lives in the West Country and is a fabulous artist. You need to watch out for Paul's work. He's a great painter. Paints mainly acrylics of fabulous views of the West Country where he lives. Brilliant. So, morning Paul. And you're going to ask me how it has subtitles here. I don't know why we have subtitles. There's probably a reason. There's probably a clever bit of gadget. There's probably a button I've pressed somewhere. Right, now then. Talking about light and shade. I'm using oils here, by the way. Oil paints. And I've got this here. Nice. A nice soft pink. I'm going to put this into the distant hedgerow over here. The distant hedgerow is pink because it's in the distance. The sunlight bleaches out the colour and it's got the very first hint of spring blossom happening. So we're getting somewhere here. Now then, you'll see what's going to fill this main splurge. That again is a technical term, splurge. Usually spelled splurge. Right there. So, few words. Anybody need a shout out, a little mention? Dorset, Louise Hutchinson, nice to have you joining me. Mark Whitaker, normally at Maidenhead train station. Well, that's a good place to be. Platform 4, waiting for the London train. Exactly. Do you want a cup of tea? Timmy's helper. Yes, I do, please. Yes, please, Mrs. Mallett. I'd love a cup of tea. Miss the Star, are you painting with a photo or imagination? Rachel is watching. Rachel in Leeds, good morning. Looks like the tripods from the War of the Worlds. Tripods? You mean triffids? Triffids, not tripods. Okay, who else we got here? Jill Widrup says the bluebells are starting to show near me. We don't have any blossom nearby. Bluebells, yes, they're definitely showing here. Now, I have bluebells in my garden, and I'm very lucky that I've got 3 colours of bluebells. I've got blue, white, and pink bells. They're really stunning, and I looked out this morning and I got very excited because they're out! Yeah! So, my plan is this week I'm going to have a go at painting the bluebells in my garden. But the 3 different colours of them, because it's just so exciting to see them, all such different colours, all together among the blooms. So I've got tulips, daffs, pink bells, and then I'd have to ask Billy the gardener. He'll know the technical name for the pale green flower. He's always the one who tells me. He says, "Now you want to be planting those next to such and such, you know," and he gives me the Latin name or the common name, the heebie-jeebie blah 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 name. Would I like some burnt chocolate brownie with the cuppa? Can we have thumbs up or thumbs down for burnt chocolate brownie? This is what Billy and Bethany were cooking the other day, and they made a complete hash of it, and so they're trying to offload it all on me. Love watching you paint. Thank you very much, Clara Ballou. So, all right, we'll have a little bit of burnt chocolate brownie, thanks. The other thing I'd really like is a hot cross bun. Yep, please, a hot cross bun. 1 a penny, 2 a penny, hot cross buns. If you have no daughters, give them to your sons. 1 a penny, 2 a penny, hot cross buns. Or, as my big brother Paul would always sing, hot cross bum. So, let's get some blossom from the whitethorn into here. Now, the blossom is not just white. It's got a little bit of yellow in it. And that yellow is best lifted up with buff titanium. I could put in some cadmium yellow. I'll show you what happens if I add a little bit of cadmium yellow. We'll just add a tiny bit and see what you think. That's the cadmium yellow mixed with white, and I'm going to try it here. Oh, it's better than I thought. Oh yeah, it is. Oh yeah, no, I'm surprised. I didn't think that would work. I thought that would look a bit of a mess. No, it's okay. No. Change of plan. I'll put that in. I'll have that. Thank you very much, whoever suggested that. Give me a thumbs up if it was you who suggested it. Let me know. Now, Becky is watching from my bed whilst making felt brooches. Nicely recovered from the dreaded plague, just worn out. Ooh. Becky, you look after yourself. There'll be some burnt brownie coming your way in a minute. Now, Richard Lotto, thank you very much for your little mention, and a shout out to Kay Bradley, whose birthday is today. Wacky birthday to you, wacky birthday to you. Annie Robertson suggests I paint the Concorde because her husband flew Concorde. Oh, wow. There is a Concorde here, actually, in my studio. I won't do this again, but I'll do it just now just to show you. Hang on. There it is. There's the Concorde. And there's the little train coming round. Okay? Right. Now you're getting dizzy, aren't you? So hold still. Comfortable? Good. Right. Let's carry on. Now I'm coming to what's going to happen to this blossom over here now. Okay, the blossom on this side is closer to us, and it's also in shade. So I'm going to put it in some pale grey. Now this pale grey does different jobs in the painting. Different jobs of in this case it's in shadow, and I'm getting some detail of the petals because it's a bit closer to where we are. We're a little bit nearer to this, so I'm painting in a few more petals. Can you see? Got that? Hope you're paying attention this morning. There will be an exam at the end of all of this. It'll be a wacky exam, which will be completely bonkers. Somebody was telling me on Twitter over the weekend that they'd spent the weekend in the loft and had found their whack annuals. Yeah! How good is that, finding those things? Lovely. So, who else we got? The Marlow donkey going round and round, says Mark Whittaker. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. Cup of tea. And, hot cross bum. Hot cross bum. If you have no daughters, give them to your sons. 1 a penny, 2 a penny, hot cross buns. Right, I'll leave them there. Cup of tea. Thank you very much, Mrs. Mallett. She's busy. Right, I'm going to eat my hot cross bun, so talk amongst yourself just for a moment while I have this. Oh. Mmm. 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 Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's really nice. Oh, that's delicious. Hot cross buns are great with cheese on top. Oh. Okay. I'll remember that. Good morning, Martin. Just come in from the garden. Nice to see you. You missed the shot of Concorde. Your Concorde, Martin Robson. I painted it on the roof of my studio. So every day, your Concorde is flying overhead. There you go. So you're in my studio, thinking of you every day. Right. This is nice. This is starting to feel very nice here. I've got the distance and the difference between the petals of shadowy bits of apple blossom. No, it's not apple blossom, it's the hawthorn. Or better known as blackthorn. and it's really a lovely blossom. Where you notice it best and appreciate it is when there's a whole hedgerow of it, a whole hedgerow of different blackthorn, and you go, oh, that's nice, spring's arriving, and it happens in this week of April. This is a particularly good week of April. You're going to get next few days the cherry blossom coming out. One of the cherry trees down in my village is already blooming. I went past it and it was in full colour, and I was quite surprised at that, because the big cherry tree in the churchyard, that's not out yet. There's no hint of it, but there's a lovely big cherry tree in our churchyard that I always say will be out around about the end of the first week of April, which is usually the 7th of April. It's tomorrow, isn't it? So maybe if I go down there Oh my goodness me. Happiness is a hot cross bun. I know what you're going to do today. You're going straight off to your local shop, aren't you? And going to say, got any hot cross buns, please? I saw Timmy Mallett eating them today and it's made me think, I want some hot cross bun. But you're going to sing that song just like my brother did. There's quite a lot of detail going in here. I'm reminded that when the Impressionists painted their views of wherever they were, usually around the coast, the region of the Ile-de-France, Argenteuil and stuff, they painted light, and they looked to get movement of light. You're not painting particular things. You're painting the moment. This moment is a lovely moment. This spring, the spring that we will remember all our lives. Hauntingly beautiful. Absolutely magnificent. It's changed the way we think about the day too, hasn't it? Do you find this? You know, gone is the urgency to do this or that, because there's nowhere you're going to go apart from to the shop. You've got a couple of little errands to run, but you're not allowed to run very many of those. You try and combine it all together, and then you're at home. You're at home all day. Doing what? Being online, of course. That's all we have to do. We spend the day being online. Right, it's coming together, this, isn't it? You're seeing this. It's got a feeling of the blossom on the hedge. Now, I'm going to bring in a nice thin brush like this. And I'm going to mix a tiny bit of purple with the blue-grey. Those two brushes, I'll put those just down here for the moment. I'll hang them over the edge there. Right. A little bit of blue-grey. There's quite a lot of detail in this picture. So I'm putting this in like this. Ah, right, I can see what I need to do. Yeah, I can see what's happening here. So I'm sort of getting ahead of myself in some of this image. Hold these brushes here a second. I'll just show you what's happening here. Okay. Probably easier to move the camera really rather than that, but I need to put in now some more of that darkness. Somebody was asking me the other day, do you ever use black, Timmy? I said, well, I'll try and avoid it because there's not a lot of black in nature. There's highlights and lowlights, but black, no. So although it will look black to you because, you know, you're on a lens here that's not that sophisticated, unless of course you have got this up on your telly and you're looking at it in higher def, in which case you would see more contrast. Do you like my train going around the studio, by the way? It's a train I picked up in Canada some years ago, and I like it for its regularity. It's got a nice soothing sound to it, hasn't it? Quite like the sound of this. Jill Woodrup asked, do I ever do commissions? Yeah. Got something you want to see painted? Send me an email. Send it to Timmy at timmymallett.co.uk. And let's get some black into here, some dark raw umber. Let's put in some when I took the paints with me on my Camino bike ride, I wanted to take the oil paints, but they take quite a long time to dry and they are a little messy, as you can see from my coat. They're not neat and tidy paints, so I took with me acrylics which are water based. Lovely paints to work in, and they're a lot easier, and frankly within the hour you can get quite a long way before the light changes. This is why it's often easier to work in work from photos, from drawings, sketches. However, it's quite difficult to say, okay, I'm going to do a combination of 3 or 4 images. If the image is right in your sketch, in your photo, that's what you're looking for what you're going to paint here. Now you see I'm getting quite a handful of brushes here. Right, where are we up to now? Let's do a few mentions. Hello. You're making me hungry, says Martin Knowles. Me too. It takes 40 years for oil paint to dry, especially if you varnish it straight away. Thanks very much, Rachel. Yeah, it does. It takes forever. So, oops, you have to be quite patient with oil paints. Right. It doesn't take 40 years to eat a hot cross bun. Now, the book, Utterly Brilliant, My Life's Journey. Anybody reading it at the minute? How are you getting on with it? Where are you up to? Let me know where you're up to with the book. And if you want to join the squillions of others who are enjoying it, you can get it from any good online retailer. Go to Amazon or to the publishers, SPCK. And if you particularly would like a personally dedicated copy with a Timmy bookmark that looks like that. I was making these the other day. Then you go to timmymallett.co.uk and you can buy from there. In the same way that if you're wanting to see more of the paintings from my cycle ride and Camino, then have a look at malletspalette.co.uk. Good name for a website, isn't it? Mallet's Mallet or Mallet's Palette. I've got both, and both are as busy. And there are prints on my website. Beautifully mounted prints. I'm rather proud of those. And certainly they'll make a great addition to your art collection. And if you're not a collector of art, that doesn't matter. There's always time to start. And the thing is that art cheers you up. When you see paintings on the wall, they mean something to you. Maybe it's the place, maybe it's the mood. You know, we all have pictures we wake up to in our bedrooms every day. So there are paintings on my wall. I wake up to them and I go, yeah, that inspires me to get out of bed and make the most of today. It is one of mine, by the way. So, good morning. Colin Owen, chapter 12, page 143 this morning. No spoilers, please. No, I wouldn't dream of spoiling it for you. But there are tales of where I am each day on this adventure and how it reminds me of the things I've done in my career, like Whack-A-Day, 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 or Timmy on the Tranny, my radio show, or Itsy Bitsy, Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini, that she wore for the first time today, oh yeah, oh Blair, or appearing on stage, or different parts of my life. You know, some people's lives are, have a straightforward, you know, this is it. I started here, I got to there, and this happened. But for most of us, there are opportunities that happen. Different things pop into your lives and makes the business of living so exciting. It changes all the time. It's nice. I like it. there's a famous saying that, you know, most of us like to plan things. We like to know what we're going to be doing or where we're going to go on holiday. Do you know where you're going to be this time next week? Yeah, you do. You're going to be at home. Yeah. This is the oddest thing. We know exactly where we're going to be. Wow, that's odd. We ain't going to go anywhere. How long's this going to last for? Don't know. Does it matter? Not really. In a sense, it doesn't. All we have to do is to stay at home and stay well. You know, you don't want to be on your own in a hospital where your family can't come and see you in case they catch it. That's grim. You know, you think about our Prime Minister and the situation he's in at the minute. Yeah. It's scary, isn't it? It's scary for the poor fella. We wish him well. Now, this is starting to come together nicely now, isn't it? Radio show. I wasn't aware of the podcast. Yeah, I liked them. Thank you, Stephen. Glad you did. Glad you liked those. Good. Now then, things are happening here. I'm going to come back to this sky that I started with. Do you remember? What? Less than an hour ago. This is certainly progressing nicely. Now I'm going to lighten up this sky down near the horizon, so I'll put in a little bit of white with the grey. Now, oh, this is good. That's nice. I like the business of actually painting, how it feels. Each brush stroke, it's nice. I like the feeling as the paint goes on and the texture. I'll move you in, you can have a little look. Okay. How was that? Did you get a bit dizzy? Now this is interesting because this paint going on nice and thickly, the burnt sienna is showing through. This wood, right, okay, that's got to come down here because it's a long way forward here, so I'll put this in. What's enjoyable with this is how the paint travels over the wet oil paint that's already on. Because there's already wet paint on there, this works its way in. Better get this tree in here. Okay, let's see what I can do with this one. Do you know what? Don't like that one. It's going to go. Look at this. I can just say, ta-da, no thanks. You didn't make it, tree. You didn't cut the mustard. So you've gone. Right. There've been a number of people who said, I feel inspired to pick up my paints and have a go myself. That's good. That's very good to hear. Delighted to hear that. You do that. Any paints will do. Watercolour, acrylics, oils, poster colours, anything. As long as you're doing it and trying it. Yeah. Yeah. This is coming on nicely now. Interesting, isn't it? An hour ago it was just a plain board, and now it's got some feel to it. Okay, so there's I've got an image on the screen there that I'm using as the basis for this painting. Right, I haven't said hello to anybody for a while. Is there an archive of radio shows I can listen to? Ah, no, there isn't yet. I say yet because I found in the loft 200 old reel-to-reel tapes, and of course I've got no machine to play them on anymore. Reel-to-reel, what a thing. When the technology we used to enjoy, we thought was dead modern, would last forever. The only thing that will ever last forever is a hard copy of anything. That's the only thing that will ever last. So the hard copy of a book, the hard copy of a painting, the hard copy of a letter, particularly a love letter. You should always keep your love letters. They're the greatest thing in the world. That's that song, isn't it, by Baz Luhrmann, Sunscreen. That's a good song, that. You look it up on YouTube. Sunscreen by Baz Luhrmann. Right, okay. Let's bring in some sunshine, some highlight, using a bit of the pink mixed with a little bit of Naples yellow. Naples yellow, pink. Bring in these trees here, make them stand out. Give them some structure. Right, I'm enjoying this. Somebody made an interesting comment the other day. They said, oh, it's very therapeutic watching you. Well, let me tell you, it's not particularly therapeutic doing it. Painting. There's a business to this. You've got to get it right. So I'm always thinking about it, thinking, have I got this? Is that right? Is this what I want it to do yet? So no, it's not therapeutic at all. There's a feeling of concentrating, getting it right. Now, who's listening to the audio book? My audio book, which you can get on Spoken Word or Audible. That's Matt Partis. Good, I'm glad you've listened to it a couple of times. Thank you very much. It was an enjoyable thing to narrate it. Do you ever work in pencils? Ah, yeah, I do. I do. When I'm away somewhere on location, yeah, there'll be a little drawing, but I have to say I prefer the colours. I like the drawing in colour. Here's a funny comment. What's this one? Amy Gallagher. Ha! You bonked my husband. With the mallet, of course. I love it. Michael Warren, a fellow artist, good to see you. Colin Owen, I've got some old cassettes of Timmy on the tranny on Piccadilly. Auntie Boney Kneecaps, I remember her. Yeah, Karen, who played Auntie Boney Kneecaps, is probably watching this morning. She lives in Bristol, and she's a wonderful TV producer, and struggling to find any work, of course, at the moment, because nobody's making any programs. It's all done remotely from home. I had Jamie Wilson, my old webmaster, call me up this week, and he is producing Saturday Mashup. That's the new live Saturday morning kids TV show. And he also does Crackerjack. Because Crackerjack, as you know, is back and very, very good. Sam and Mark have done a fine job on that. I like that show. So he phoned me up. He said, well, you know, here we are. We're indoors. We're having to do this new Saturday mashup from home. What about doing some of the old wackaday ideas? So we had a nice little chat about it. And I said, well, you could, of course, do singing in the shower, actually, in a real shower. That would work. He said, yeah, good idea. So don't be surprised if you see singing in the shower happening on the telly in the next week or two on Saturday mornings. And if you say to yourself, that I've seen that before, yeah, you have. But they're doing it again with my blessing. I'm going, yep, nice to see that the old ideas are still the good ones and still work. Now, taking a step back here, first of all to eat my hot cross bun. And secondly, just to have a little look from a distance. Right. There's not nearly enough blossom on this picture. There needs to be a lot more blossom. So that's what I'm going to put on now. I'm going to put on a lot more blossom. So you're going to see blossom emerging everywhere. I tell you what I could use. What might work quite nicely here. Where have I put it now? I've got a palette knife. Not that one. Oh, hang on. It's over here. Yeah, this might just go a little bit quicker. Yeah. Palette knives cover your canvas nice and quickly. I'll tell you who used them a lot, Van Gogh. When he was painting, he'd use a palette knife and look to do 2 or 3 paintings a day. All that great body of Van Gogh work was all done in a very short space of time. Very short. 3 years or something. There are hundreds of paintings. And the reason there are hundreds is he just said, look, I've got to get on. I've got to do it now. There's nothing like now to make sure that you do it. So get on and do it. If you want to do something, do it now. Don't put it off. If you've always said to yourself, I want to take up knitting, well, get on and do it now. There's no excuse. You're at home, you've got nothing else to do apart from stay well. Just stay well. Now this is feeling much better. Why didn't I start with this? Bit of cadmium yellow. Mix that down here with on the palette. Yeah, okay. Interestingly, how it drags it across the canvas, and the stickiness of the paint leaves it looking, oh, that's great, that's what I want. It shows a really complicated subject here. It's complicated because there's a lot of detail in it. Right, where's that grey? Ah, that's it. I'll use that. Yeah, that's feeling better. So there's some highlights into the branches there. Right, mix in some of the dark burnt umber. My good friend Rachel Dilly, who lives in Leeds, knows a lot about oil paint because she's a curator of Leeds City Art Gallery, one of the finest regional collections of art anywhere in Britain. In fact, all our towns, our big towns, have fascinating displays of local art. And one of the things I always do whenever I have a show, the local regional gallery if I can, because there's bound to be something there, something local that you can discover. Right, okay, we're getting there now. See that? Because I don't often find a rag, but I'll always find a jacket. Right. Somebody said, why didn't you do this before? Why didn't you do this earlier on? Well, everything has its time and its place in a painting. Glad you're enjoying it this morning. Tell me where you're watching and what it's doing for you, if anything at all. Sarah Mackenzie, thank you very much. Greg and Clarkson. Watching you paint is inspiration. I'm no artist, but started using adult colouring books. Does that count? Of course it counts, matey. Absolutely. So who else have we got here? Let me have a little look. I'll just go back on myself and have a little look and see who I've got to mention. Steve Fenner, surprised you don't say you don't think doing art is therapeutic. We have a Friday art group here in Prestatyn via Facebook, and you think it's therapeutic. Okay. Jackie Robson, Summertown, yeah, I remember that. Fingers in your ears time, yay! Amy Gallagher's working in Stephen Charlton plays guitar. Good, lovely. Send me your messages, I'll have a look. And I'm glad you're enjoying this. Right, let's have a little looky over here. Now, I'm feeling quite good with that side of the picture, but I'll tell you about the business of painting. Look, if you're a writer, you've got to write every day. If you're an expert at, I don't know, if you're a pianist or a musician or something, you've got to play every day. There's no point in saying, yeah, I'm a pianist, I'll play when the mood takes me. You've got to do it every day. The things that you like doing, you need to do them, and do them every day. So, reading, writing, painting, art. If you're a cook, don't just cook when the mood takes you. Do it every day. Do it every day. First of all, you'll enjoy it more. Secondly, you'll get better at it. All of this comes about just through practice. So on whack-a-day filming trips, I would take the paints with me, and the director, whenever he was short of a story, this is true, isn't it, Ben? Ludo would say, the picture, tell us what you're doing. And the crew would go, yeah, great. Timmy's going to paint a picture, haven't got to lug the camera anywhere, just set it up on a tripod and have my cup of tea. Yay. Lock off the shot, and Mallett would paint a picture. Watercolours usually half an hour or so. You've got a story there. Tell us what you're doing, what the story is. Now that's feeling more like it. There's a cascade of apple blossom in the tree. So how many colours are in apple blossom? Well, there's cadmium yellow, there's titanium white, there's a bit of blue grey. The blue grey is going in here because that's in its shadow. Yeah. What will happen with a painting like this is that when I've finished this session, which is going on a bit longer than I thought it would do today, I didn't think it would go on this long, but it's going on this long because I'm in the zone with this particular painting and I'm not ready to finish painting this yet. It won't be a finished picture, it will be one of those things that is a work in progress. Right, let's get some nice cadmium yellow into that. That's good. By the way, that little eek boink you just heard, like that, that's a text coming in. It's either Mrs. Mallett with another one of her WhatsApp gags, because she is the greatest collector of WhatsApp gags in the world. She wakes up every morning and there are howls of laughter before anything else. Howls of laughter. Look at this one! Gonna share this! And off it goes. So if you're on Mrs. Mallett's WhatsApp, that will be a gag. Absolutely. Ah, that's better. That's better. That's more like it. Now then, we need some highlight just in here. Highlight just up here. Yeah, look at this. It's on fire. I am painting the arrival of the spring of 2020. The spring we will all remember for all our lives. the year we were just at home. How lucky we are. How lucky are we that we don't have to make any big decisions today. The biggest decision you'll make today is what to have for your tea tonight. And that's easy. Ice cream and jelly! Oh, good, good, good. Now then, I've got my good pal Tony watching this morning in Oxfordshire. Tony is a brilliant painter and decorator and a fabulous footballer too. And he and I are in the WhatsApp group of predictors. Every weekend or every match day, predict the results of every game in Oxford United's league and also Maidenhead United. And we are rubbish at it. But boy, is it good fun. It's lovely. Now, a very good morning this morning to my gorgeous friend, Hannah Spanner. Now, known as Eves Caridas. Look up Eves Caridas. That's K-A-R-Y-D-A-S. Okay? Eves Caridas. Brilliant singer-songwriter of the finest. And Eves and her family live in Brisbane in Australia. And still in Australia they are allowed to go to the beach. Beaches aren't closed and they are down there, you know, with a bit of social distancing going on. But Eve's songs are just wonderful. Just get them online and have a little listen and you'll see. There's a new release coming out in about a month's time, and I got a sneak preview actually. I would play it for you now over my phone, except that it's not mine to play. So, you know, it's up to Eves to show you that when she's ready to release it. But brilliant singer-songwriter, and your song, Eves, for Dear Brother Martin, You Me. It's just an absolutely glorious song. I love it. If you were to go to Audio Boom, this is a collection of audio stuff. And on Audio Boom, I'm there with quite a few podcasts actually, going back some 16, 17 years or so. There's a big long collection of my podcasts. But also on there is the lovely song You Me, written specially for Brother Martin, and it's really a powerful song about the joy of doing things together. Interestingly, this exercise here today, it feels like a joint effort, you and me. I like this because I could just paint this all on my own with no camera on it. Could do. Don't need to have the camera on. But I'm doing this today because it's nice having your company. I'm enjoying your company. I'm enjoying your comments. And let me have a little look, see what your messages are. Here, what have I got? Right, gotta go now, the dog needs a walk. Off you go. Audio Boom, yeah, Audio Boom, very good. Any plans for your next book, Mr. Mallett, says Matt. And Stephen Charlton, Lanchester, the beautiful village of Lanchester is where he's watching this morning. And this is in concert country in County Durham. I did look you up actually, I did look up where Lanchester is. And it's just on the route to do the cycling route across country. You know, the sea to sea. You go through Lanchester along the way, just south of Beamish, the wonderful museum in County Durham. Lovely part of the world you live in there, Stephen, and I hope the sun is shining for you today. Now, can I have some comments, please? Give me some thumbs up, thumbs down, or anything in particular that you think is missing. I'll just bring it forward a smidget like that. Okay. Right. Stick your head in close to it and tell me, what do you think? Are we getting anywhere with this blossom? Apple blossom and blackthorn. Right. I'm feeling quite good with this at the moment. I'm going to probably pause and see if there's anything obvious that's missing. There will be. And one of the things I'm thinking of is a little bit of red. Let me tell you what I mean. There's a shrub that I saw on my cycle ride just next door. See that? There's my bike and that red shrub. I think it's a quince. I think that quince could look quite interesting mixed in with this. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. But I think at this stage, because we've been going an hour and a half or so now, I think it's probably time to stop, have a little think. I'm ready for a spot of lunch soon, and I'll have another look at this in due course. Now, a couple of things to remind you. You're seeing over my shoulder, Pinky Punky? Mr. Mallett, can I go to the toilet? If you're looking for a fun game to play with the family, Mallett's Mallet is it. And you get it from timmymallet.co.uk. And with your Pinky Punky comes a special little something or other, okay? So buy them online today. And the other thing is my book, Utterly Brilliant, My Life's Journey. Now, Matt is enjoying it on an audio version. Stephen's reading it. Other people are looking at it in, but you know, you've got your various places. You can get it from any online retailer, SBCK the publisher, Amazon, or a personally dedicated signed copy from timmymallet.co.uk. And that comes with the special little gift of a Timmy bookmark, handmade, and special little something, a little Martin Mallett name tag I'll pop in there for you, just for you, okay? timmymallet.co.uk. So, greetings to everybody, and thanks so much for watching. I'm really have enjoyed your company today. Stay safe, have a happy day, and if you're up for this, shall we do it again tomorrow? Yay! This is Timmy saying thanks for watching. Blah.